Many startups do not collapse from lack of demand. They collapse from internal instability. Growth arrives, hiring accelerates, output expands. Then execution slows. Teams drift out of alignment. Simple decisions become heavy. Founders assume this is scaling. Usually, the instability was built into the company from the start. Growth pressure replaces clarity with speed. Roles get filled fast, systems stay undefined. That confusion stays invisible while the company is small, then scale amplifies it. Employees inherit unclear expectations. Functions become habits instead of defined outcomes. The company grows, the structure weakens. That is structural debt. This is where most founders freeze. But at Solver Studio, we go to our toolkit, the Solvers 6. The tool here is First Principles Clarity. First Principles removes assumptions and inherited process until only the essential function remains. For startups, this changes hiring completely. The question is no longer, what does this role do? The question becomes, what critical outcome must this role consistently produce? Clarity begins when functions become precise. First, identify the system being corrupted by growth. Here, it is hiring. Most founders hire to relieve immediate pressure. First Principles reframes the role entirely. A role exists to produce one critical structural outcome over time, not endless tasks, not vague responsibility. One essential output. That distinction changes the company's foundation. Next, deconstruct existing roles using that principle. Complexity accumulates when nobody defines what is truly essential. A marketing lead may spend hours posting content, while the real function is generating qualified demand. The activity looks productive. The principle is blurred. First Principles removes everything not directly tied to the core output. That is how stability returns. Finally, rebuild hiring around the clarified principle. Evaluate for the ability to produce the essential outcome, not prestige, not personality, not adjacent talent. If the role exists to ensure stable deployments, the hiring process must directly test that capability. Every hire strengthens or weakens the structure. Clarity transforms hiring from reactive expansion into deliberate system design. Startup instability is structural long before it becomes visible operationally. First Principles restores clarity. Define the essential function. Remove non-essential complexity. Rebuild around the irreducible truth. Stable growth is designed, not improvised. The same pattern appears in burnout. Someone leaves an exhausting job determined to create balance. Months later, the overload returns. The environment changed, the structure did not. They never defined the governing principle of their capacity. For example, my sustainable workweek is 40 hours. Now, every request is measured against a structural truth. If new work breaks the principle, the system adjusts before overload compounds. Clarity replaces reactive willpower. Urgency makes clarity feel slow. In reality, clarity is what makes sustainable speed possible. Systems built on constant reaction eventually fracture. Systems built on defined principles become stable enough to scale. That is the discipline of First Principles. Stop defining systems by activity. Define them by essential function.